Hello, okay, so I'm new to YouTube. I thought I'd do a quick review of Paperlike. Now, Paperlike is a film that, as the name suggests on the tin, gives your iPad, or whatever surface you apply it to, a paper-like feel, which for tablets is a good thing because, as we know, most of them are very slippery when you write on them. Now, you may have seen several YouTubers advertise Paperlike at the beginning or during their videos. Sorry, a bit of fluff. And so I thought I'd give it a go. Now, yes, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It gives your iPad a paper-like feel. However, what they negate to mention is that it's not exactly easy to apply. Now, that's not unusual to Paperlike. There are a lot of films out there that you can apply to many phones and iPads, and other tablets are available by other manufacturers, of course. But the one thing that the screen protectors all have in common is they are notoriously difficult to apply without air bubbles, and Paperlike is no exception. So I tried, and like everybody else, I got bubbles. Now, Paperlike tell you that you can remove these bubbles by using a credit card, and yes, you can. You can remove them using a credit card, although be careful, because A, you might snap your credit card. Okay, you can replace that. B, you might end up destroying the surface of the Paperlike, which is a bit pointless, really, isn't it, given that you've just paid to put this paper-like surface on. Or C, if you apply too much pressure, you might inadvertently crack your iPad. That's a bit more expensive to replace. So, overall, be careful when you're applying Paperlike. It's not easy, but be patient. The best way I found was to not use a credit card, was to actually use my finger and gradually push the bubbles out towards the edge of the surface, just like you would with any other screen protector. And what I would say is use the cloth that's provided. They provide a screen cloth for cleaning the screen before you apply the screen protector. And I found that actually using that screen cloth seemed to cause minimal damage to the actual film that causes the paper-like effect. So that would be my number one thing, is when removing the bubbles, wrap your finger in the screen cloth that they give you to clean off all the dust, and then work the bubbles out. And also, don't be too impatient. It may well take you several days to get all the bubbles to the edge and get them out completely. Now, fortunately, if you apply Paperlike to an iPad, and particularly the M1 iPad, I have the iPad M1 12.9 inch, the backlight is so strong under normal circumstances that actually you don't see the bubbles, which is great. Although I must admit I haven't watched a HDR film where there's a very deep black colour. So that may, over time, flag up a problem because you might, in the darker areas, be able to see the air bubble. So that would be my number one thing, is be very careful about how you apply it. Try and not to get the air bubbles in there in the first place. Definitely make sure you've got rid of your any dust. I had to have a filter going in the background to try and do that. And that in itself is quite tricky. If you live in an old house or you don't have a filter, you might get lots and lots of dust, and in which case no amount of smudging with your finger or a credit card is going to do any difference if you've got a piece of dust or lint or piece of hair underneath there. That's stuck. You're going to have to take it off and start again. Now, in fairness to Paperlike, they do give you 2 screen protectors, so if you mess up on the first one or the first one wears out, you can then reapply the second one. But it's not a quick or simple process. But there again, no screen protector is a quick or simple process if you want a screen protector applied with very minimal bubbles. What I would have liked to have seen was some kind of device to help you applicate the screen protector, given that, it's 30 odd quid in the UK, and, you want a premium screen experience if you're applying it to an iPad or other expensive tablet. Well, any tablet, really. You don't really want to see a whole load of air bubbles when you're reading. On use, okay, yes, it makes it look like paper, and actually, to my eyes, that's really good. It reduces glare, it's easier to write on, and it does make it feel like reading off of paper. So it's horses for courses, really. If you're using your iPad or anything else for watching video content or watching things like this in YouTube, where people like me stutter their way through a review, then yeah, maybe think about not applying a screen protector and using a case instead. Or just being really careful and not trying to scratch it in the first place. If, however, you're using it for writing or reading or actually drawing, then things like Paperlike, and there are other products available that are fairly similar. I mean, how much patent infringement has gone on, I don't know. I did try with a different company that used supposed nanodot technology to produce the same effects. and had a very similar experience with, but in fairness to Paperlike, I did get more bubbles with the cheaper alternative, and it was more difficult to get rid of them, to the point where I actually ended up removing the cheaper alternative. And I must admit, with Paperlike, I think I've ended up with only 2 bubbles, which hopefully will work out in time. So yes, it's horses for courses, but my top tip is don't apply Paperlike or any other type of film made for writing unless you really are, going to use it for a lot of use. If you like reading books, or if you like drawing a lot, then maybe Paperlike's for you. If you're a video watcher, if you do a lot of internet surfing, or if you just like watching YouTube, maybe think twice about doing that. Maybe get a cover. Okay, so that's just a plain and simple, honest review on my first experience with Paperlike. But as I say, that the application is common to all screen protectors. It's not Paperlike that I'm having a go at. It's just that I know a lot of YouTubers rave about Paperlike, and I just wanted to say it's a screen protector at the end of the day. It is difficult to apply, but in fairness to Paperlike, yes, you can get the bubbles out if you're willing to spend the time. And particularly, certainly with my M1 iPad, the backlight's so strong that when in general use and a few minutes after using it, I haven't seen the air bubbles that I know are in there. So hopefully they'll work their way out before they irritate me. All right, take care, peeps, and I hope you enjoy what you're doing next. Bye now.